Okay, time to get sentimental. I think we need a little bit of that sometimes on here. Go back in time in that time machine. As much bubblegummy as some of these songs, as well as much bubblegummy as these songs will be, as a little short I put on with Debbie Gibson called Lost in Your Eyes. Back in the day, my boys, back in the day, I was dating the doctor's daughter. And there's a few songs that remind me, going back to some sentiment here. She used to play that for me, and there's a reason I'm talking about this and how people change. So there's always a reason why I'm going to say anything on here, and I'll back up what I say. Two people get very close to each other. You could swear I never going to be with anybody else. Remember those days? Oh, you guys were intimate, a lot of emotion, a lot of sentiment. Then what? He'd look back and say, like Ricky said to Lucy, what happened? What happened? What would happen? You know? The songs are playing, they dedicate certain songs to you. And maybe certain songs remind you of somebody. Like on a short, I think I just put up, probably get strikes for it, who cares? Debbie Gibson, of all people, what's she doing these days? Real bubblegummy music. But, the girl I was dating was real bubblegummy. She didn't have too bad of a taste in music, though, actually. Some stuff, you probably never heard of Basha. She introduced me to Basha and people like that. And, these really ethereal songs by, oh, what's her name? Um, God, I guess it has been a long time. Oh, but I was never into certain music at the time. But, there is certain music that will remind you of something in your past or somebody in your past. Maybe certain songs might have a very negative effect on you from something in your past. There's certain songs on the radio I just can't listen to. But if I'm walking to a supermarket in America, they always play music. All of a sudden a song will come on and bam, I'm in a time machine. Bam. If you ever went through anything like that. And I have many times, like deja vu all over again. So that one song, Lost in Your Eyes by Debbie Gibson, would I listen like something like that today? No, just for memory's sake. And it seems really weird when, I mean, how many relationships have you had? But I've met, you might say, a few women, and they were real relationships. And when you meet seemingly the right person, you always think in your mind that, oh yeah, we're going to be together forever. Okay, Jazzy. Hello, Brisk. We got to stop meeting this way. So, you met that girl and you thought she was really special. And I've met a number of women that I thought were really very special. At that time, they were in every form and way. But, things change. They change. So you can relate certain music, even the bubblegum music like Debbie Gibson, which I have on a short. And this one girl, I'll tell you her name. Her name was, well, I ain't going to tell you her name. But she was, a really good looking blonde chick, green eyes, I think it was. And, she was put together pretty well. And to anybody's sights, she appeared to be very attractive. Back in those days, she did that thing with the hair. Um, she had long blonde hair, but it was never straight. It was always like all curled up and, pretty good looking girl, actually. Long legs. Yeah, guys, shut up. Long legs. I thought I was in, utopia. But, there was a couple that I really thought that, oh man, this is it. Oh, yeah. I mean, I was convinced of it. Even one from the Philippines here, first came out here. This is the one. This is the one. Well, apparently it wasn't the one. The one is the one is the one is the one that I'm in right now. The relationship I'm in right now. But we go through all these. It's nice to look back, and it can be very strange too. No matter how close you are with somebody, you can look at this two ways. You think they'd get curious to see if you're alive or dead? Look you up on Facebook or something. You say, "Well, I'm married and all. I got kids, in their 40s now, but just want to see if you're alive and well." But the thing about that in life, life moves on. No matter how close you were to somebody in your younger years, no matter how you thought this relationship was special, that you'd always be together, as I said, there's nothing guaranteed in life. Nothing at all. Nothing. So you look back on this and you at least have the good memories. Nobody could take your memories away. Well, unless you know, got some brain damage or something, Alzheimer's or something, but you got your memories and nobody could take that away from you. I could swear certain women were the one for me. I could swear up and down. Then through the years, I mean, life goes on. Maybe your relationship don't last. You move on. They move on. They find somebody. They get married. They have kids. They may move out of state. You know, life rolls along. And where you were once so important in their lives, so important, you're not anymore. Well, you shouldn't care because you've moved on and you have somebody now, but it doesn't mean you can't look back. Not at all. Okay, yeah, well, death and taxes, yeah, that's for sure. And trolls, number three, okay. But I do look back, and I happen to accidentally come on this song, and it's on my on a short. If it's uploaded, I don't know if it's private or not. I'll release it, but I'll probably get a strike. Who cares? I mean, maybe it's the best thing in the world. Because if I do get, I'm not coming back on at all. If I get a shot, I'm not even gonna bother. You know. But yeah, everybody can relate to some song. It brings them back in that time machine. It brings them back to the past. And we all call it the good old days, but not everybody had good old days. Somebody had some bad old days. Some people have, and they want to look back in their past. But I can kindly, look back in my past and say that I have been in a number of relationships, and I try to think of the positive over the negative. There's always some negative involved with something, but I try to remember those good moments when they first told you that they loved you. I remember with this one gal, she took me out for dinner. The doctor's daughter. The doctor's daughter. It's the doctor in the house. Well, there was. She took me out to dinner, and she gave me this ring. I mean, it wasn't gold or nothing. It was a cheap ring. Maybe it was even silver. No, it was silver at least. She wouldn't give me a tin ring. Who would do that in an LED box? But no, it was silver, sterling silver. Then she had a banner that said, "I loved you." Now, this woman, she was not, she was afraid to be emotionally expressive. And for her to come out and say that was a moment when she had a lot of time to think everything I've done for her and helped her through some hard times. Not financially, she always worked, but now she's like a millionaire or something. Okay. Oh well. You miss a boat, there's always another boat coming by, and it's not always loaded, if you know what I mean. So, but her life is going on. I think she had a kid or two or something, and no, we're never in touch with each other. You know, you'll always become the bad guy. It is a woman. You'll become the bad guy. You know, it was never their fault. Never usually is. But you could kindly look back on those moments anyway. You could kindly look back on those times. There's nothing wrong with that at all. Yeah, I like to look back. I like to look back on things. Why not? I'm happy where I'm at right now, but it wasn't always happy times. I got hurt in a few relationships. When me and that particular woman broke up, I mean, I cried like a baby. I mean, you know, she was running away from things in her life and thought she disappointed people. Move off to California before I knew it. That I had to, like an idiot. She moves out there. Can you come to see me? Think I made a big mistake. Like an idiot. I gave in. We had a great time. She was actually with a guy, but she wasn't in love with the guy, but he got transferred to California, San Francisco area, actually over in Concord. So Jeff, we'll call him that, she went to stay with him, but she was still seeing me. I came out there, we stayed in the hotel. Then you say, well, if she did that to you, maybe she wasn't the right person after all. She was confused. She basically fell off the wagon. I guess she was a silent drinker, but I figured it out though. Silent drinker. And she disappointed people. She got all her coins from her meetings and all that stuff. She's the one that had bulimia, okay? She's the one that had bulimia that I talked about. And I wrote a little booklet on. She had the bulimia. But she had some hard times dealing with herself and issues, and she wasn't ready for a relationship. She knew it, I knew it, but I still pushed on, even got engaged. So I went to California the second time to visit. The second time, okay, the second time, all right? We just hung around. We went to Stimson Beach and all that, and, hotel, of course. And she was still living with Jeff, and my understanding was, I mean, I even never knew she smoked. She did that secretly. She was calling me from a freaking bar. She went to go get a drink. She was in one of those moments. She figured she was off the wagon. Fuck it, she said, I heard the ashtray moving. I said, are you? Oh, I heard a glass. I said, are you drinking? She said, yeah. Then, then I noticed she pulls out a cigarette. We went to Stimson Beach. I said, oh, she is smoking now. What's with that? She never liked smoking. She never liked me smoking. But, she was a creature of well, not habit, but she was very vulnerable to things like drinking or solver problems or X-lax or some shit like that to, go on an eating binge and then feel guilty about it and then do something about it, if you know what I'm saying. That's what she was like. She was a kind of a problem child, but if she didn't have all those problems, man, she was a good cat. She really was. And let's just say things did not end well with her and leave it at that. And uh, life went on. Didn't care in the future. If I was alive or dead. No, that's what happens in relationships. Now, one girl I used to date, I believe it is her, not the one I'm talking about. There's a girl named Carol I used to date. I used to call her Indian Carol. Oh, long story. I think she passed away last year or not too long ago. She was, younger than me. It's just funny how life goes by so fast. Some people you dated are dead. Uh, you know, it's just crazy. It's just crazy. How could you be so close to somebody and spread emotions, share the same bed and emotions and thoughts and you name it, and then be so distant from somebody? How is that even possible? How many guys out there are willing to say anything? I mean, have ever really kept in touch with their old flames? And the question is, too, should you? Why should you? Unless you're looking for somebody and you don't have a relationship, you want to call up some old flames, you know. Well, my flames were extinguished many times over, you know. But it doesn't mean I can't look back. So, like many of you, you could hear a song and it reminds you of something. It might remind you of something of your family or a good time in your life or a bad time in your life or an old girlfriend or something. And there was some music that you shared together. Or maybe they shared it with you. Or maybe it's something you wouldn't normally listen to, but, you know, they expressed their sentiment by playing that song for you, which was meant for you. In Your Eyes, by Debbie Gibson. That was one of them with this one gal, you know. I just thought about this because I actually came across this song. I wasn't looking for it. But I don't even know what Debbie Gibson's doing these days and what she ever got into, really. I guess she was so young when she made that song, too. Yeah. But it's just kind of looking back, but I always find it very hard to understand how two people can be so close to each other and then be so distant at another time. It's kind of mind boggling. Some of these relationships were worth breaking up, I must tell you that. Because remember, you can't predict the future. I'm a smart guy in many ways, but I only what's obvious to me. Like if you're obese, I'm going to tell you that, well, like I always tell you, you know, I'm not going to get into health topics, but you know what I'm talking about. Obesity causes a lot of problems. But lying causes a lot of problems too. You got to be in a relationship where your partner is going to be very truthful with you. And for the most part, this particular girl was truthful with me, but she was hiding the fact that she was nipping the bottle here and there, never where we went. She'd go into the ladies' room and she'd have it disguised in a Coke bottle, a carry around thing. You never knew, except one day I did smell it on her breath. Caught you. That's especially when I went to San Francisco, went to see her, and she met me in Oakland. Then we went from there, and we went around San Francisco, the Bay to the wharf. We ate there and had a great time, and you know, I was in my man, I was in my glory. I don't know how to explain it to you. A beautiful day in San Francisco, just a beautiful day with a very attractive woman that you had a real big thing for. But I was in no position to move to California. And believe me, I started thinking about it. That's why I warned you about don't run out to a Filipina here, man, until you know. If I would have just, I don't know how I would have done it anyway. At the time, I didn't have any money. Yeah, to satisfy her needs of having somebody that she made a mistake and wants me to come out there. I went there twice. The second time, it was kind of cold. And I don't mean the weather. Even, it wasn't even a really huggy goodbye, when she dropped me off at was it the bus or whatever? I forgot how I went home. But I was in Seattle at the time, so yeah, something was different. Something was different. Did I think she loved me? Yes, I do. But I think she was too dependent on me, or I was like her crutch or something. Um, there was love, but, doctor's daughter, and, what was I doing with my life at the time? I mean, it just wouldn't have worked. I mean, money finds money. Money marries money most of the time. I believe that. She was born with a silver spoon in her mouth, and she hated when people used to say that about her friends in high school. But she was. Father was a doctor, mother was a nurse. They lived in a beautiful house in Edmonds, Washington, overlooking in the distance you could see Puget Sound. Oh, yeah. Then they sold that house, and later the father moved to a golf course, condo, townhouse. Oh, yeah, they had money. She has money now. She's with a guy who runs and operates, of all things, um, I don't know what we're going to call it, a halfway house for male alcoholics or something. She had almost like an executive position in a big landscape company in San Francisco. She was like a CEO type of secretary thing. Shit, she was making how many figures a year? It's funny how things turn out, but that's the way it would have been. There's a reason why we didn't stay together because, you know, the mojo, wasn't there. You know, I didn't turn out to be a rich guy, but she did. And that just wouldn't have worked. If you've been born with that silver spoon in your mouth, it doesn't work out. A Waffle House. Brisket. Come on. See, the number 13 again. I've got 13 really, really loyal viewers on here. They're probably trolls, but they're always here when I put a show on. Every single time. Every single time. It may vary, but it winds up on 13. I could count on 13 people that make it a point to come to listen to my show. Look, I don't blame you because there's nothing worthwhile to listen to out there. I don't blame you at all. Please, I don't blame you. I know there's very few shows that's even worth listening to. And I say that with all honesty. There is, oh, this goddamn remote. Hold on a minute, guys. I have a habit of putting a remote on my lap when I'm sitting down. And the cover to this remote, you have to tape it. And I didn't tape it this time. And I always forget that it's on my lap. And when I get up, I don't know how many times I've actually dropped this remote. I mean, it barely works, really. I got to keep on pointing it at the TV. And then you got to move it around and hope that you get the signal. And it's just a pain in the ass. Okay. Disappointed that Big Man hasn't stopped by to say hello. Oh, Big Man show? Oh, now he's staying in the Philippines, I guess. I thought he was leaving. He's a Muslim guy, right? Yeah, black Muslim guy. I get them in your eyes. Okay. I'm so used to the bed being over there, dear. Oh, what time is it here? Oh, this is late for me, because I'm an old man. I'm an old man. I start winding down around 9 o'clock.
Okay.
I wind down around 9 o'clock, folks. We got a problem with that. And I really don't go to bed till about maybe 10. But I got to talk to my boys out here, of course. Because I don't know what to do with myself. There's that 13 again. See, I told you. 13. It always gravitates to 13 every time. Then it varies a little bit. I got a low battery. Well, that's 20%. That's good enough. I told him I liked his beard and asked if he was John Blaze's brother. He denies it. Man, did you see John Blaze, man? Jesus Christ. That, you know, I never really saw him with the beard, but I kind of knew what he looked like. But and he's talking about me. You talking about me? You talking about me? No, he can't afford to talk about me. Not now. No. So if that is John Blaze, then that's enough said. Enough said. You know what I'm saying? He just can't afford to talk about me or anybody. That's what he's looking like these days. Holy cow. Uh-oh, it is wet out here. We had a heavy little rainfall a little while ago. It came down, but then it's gone. But then boom. Maybe he grew a beard for December when he becomes a blazer claw. I mean, the freaking guy is like younger than me, but look, I mean, I'm not saying I don't have any gray. You know, I usually try to get rid of the gray or hide a lot of it, but I don't have that much gray. I see his beard and why the fuck? What is he? A ZZ Top wannabe or something? I did a show about that. Why do you guys grow beards and mustaches? What is that all about? And why do you grow a long beard like that? Jesus Christ, you can kill yourself with that. Gets caught in machinery or something? Or if your wife or girlfriend could pull you around by that beard, food and substance gets stuck in there and it smells, and if you smoke and drink, that's just nasty, man. Sorry. It's my opinion. It's just nasty to have a beard. And what do you have a mustache for? A cookie duster? What is that for, man? I don't like hair on my face at all. As I said, it's irritating. My whole life, I've never actually grew an actual beard or mustache. My whole life. Brisket says, usually when I see someone like that on the news, it's a story like hiker found after several weeks lost in the wilderness. Several months or more, years. That's a big old ass beard on him, man. Something ain't right. Something just ain't right. I'll tell you why. Filipinos, from what I understand, I've been out here long enough, they don't seem to take with guys with beards, but not really. But a long beard like that? I don't know. Something ain't right with his story about the so-called woman he's with or whatever. Something ain't right. Mm-mm. I don't know how you guys feel about this. You never get the true story from anybody on here anyway. Well, we all know that. But, and I've talked to Filipinos. No, a lot of them don't like facial hair. Some of them do, but not like that. Unless you're like a hillbilly living in Alabama or some shit like that, Up in them dar hills, perhaps. Beard has to be short and neat. Long like that, the women hate it here. That's why I don't understand. That's why I think there's something that's not right. Well, I never thought anything was right with him anyway, but something is just not right. I always said it. I trust my judgment. I trust my judgment. I've been right for a lot of things. And I don't think he's telling the whole truth or any truth about anything about his lifestyle at all. That's my opinion, of course. I've been right so many times. Haven't I? Haven't I? Didn't I? Didn't I? Didn't I? Here's an old song for you guys, and I really don't know where it came from. But it goes like this. It's called Give Me That Thing, and that's all it is. That's all the lyrics are. Give me that thing, give me that, give me that thing, give me that, give me that thing, give me that, give me that thing. That's the song. I don't know if anybody is, ever remembers that. Big Kevin is boring as can be. All right, so what's going to be the difference between him and Thailand and Vietnam? What is he going to do? That's the thing. He's going to move anywhere. But you know what? There you are. No matter where you go, there you are. You carry yourself with you no matter where you go. And if you're a schmuck before you went to Thailand, you're a schmuck when you're going to go to Vietnam. You think things are going to change? Honestly? He's going to go to the bars again. He's going to set him up a drink so he has company. Who could live their life that way? I mean, I can speak personally for myself. I can't. I don't even drink. But he went all that, distance to lose a lot of weight. I commend him for that. Well, he had to. What do you think he had knee problems for? When you got that kind of weight on you carrying, of course he's going to have to get knee replacements. Of course he's fucking with the cartilage. I did something about that. He didn't have the glute muscles to support his knees and everything else. What did he expect to happen? He had some kind of fucking knee replacement or some shit like that. But the way I believe things are is that, look at fucking Brevis. Look at Drew Norty. He's here for a reason. He was running away from something, What makes him think the grass is going to be greener on the other side if you're just a fucking jerk, a stalker? And what's going to change you? What's going to change you? I mean, the guy had, put out against people TROs. And he had to do it for his family. So he did something radically wrong that really pissed somebody off. I mean, it really pissed somebody off. That's what he did. Now he comes over here, finds a woman place to hang his hat, gets her pregnant. He's now a daddy. He wasn't ready to be, and I don't think it was his plan. Knocks up another woman who gives birth to a baby. The baby dies. I mean, the fucking drama with these people. Brisket says, Bolo Kev traveling to Asia by only experiencing one street in each country. Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's all he used to talk about was that street that he was on with those weird names, labeled one, two, three, four, five, and six or something. I mean, what is the purpose? I mean, if I were him, I would have stayed in the aunt's basement. You know, you could predict more things about your life that way. I mean, he had it good, gave her a couple of bucks out of his, pension, whatever. He was out there like a little kid buying little toys and little things that make lights go off and little sound machines that make stupid sounds. He'd buy like 10 different microphones and stands and monitors and a microphone that kind of came out, spiraled out, like an extension arm. I mean, he really thought he was running a studio. I mean, he really thought. But that, bolo knife went pretty goddamn deep as far as I'm concerned. He's not a responsible person. Brevis is not a responsible person. That's obvious. I mean, I met the guy. I know what, I could tell. That's why I didn't want anything to do with him when he came over here. Me and Gilda decided that, no, he's not somebody I want to hang out and have come to my house. Because he told me, I mean, he was a stalker, man. He told me that he listened to me from when I first ever went on YouTube. He told me himself, like, I'm your biggest fan. Oh, God, when you hear that. Does that remind you of that movie, Play Misty for Me or something? Was that Clint Eastwood and who was the gal in there? Holy shit. Right away, I was thinking about that. I'm your biggest fan. And I'm like, oh, shit. Seriously? I'm your biggest fan, Frank. Oh, my God. Brisket says, it's funny. He buys so much streaming equipment. He can't host a stream by himself without someone on the panel. He's lost. Yeah. Well, Roberto was like that. And whatever happened to Roberto? What's the real story? Anybody know? I'm sorry, but it's unusual for Roberto not to make appearances and knock me and down me and all that. Which he did so well. Something went down with him. Popeye knows. Allo probably knows. I'm sure that there are people know, but they don't want to release that information. And why would they not want to release that information? Because they figured it would give me satisfaction. That's exactly it. That's why they're really closed-mouthed about what happened with Roberto. Something went down. Okay. Yeah. Brevis has a bit in common with Norman Bates. You know what? Laughing Larry. I love these names, by the way. You're probably right. You're probably right. I've always made these comments when he was in a bar. Every now and then, he would peer into the camera. He would lean over and peer into the camera. And he got these lost boy eyes. These really strange eyes. Stalker eyes, something not right in the head eyes. It just wasn't right. And he did that a lot. And, for a guy that's supposed to know everything and have money or whatever, supposedly, he's got this skin cancer on his face. He said to me personally that it runs in his family. And why isn't he having it removed or checked out? I don't understand. He's supposed to have this Bitcoin money. He claims to be like a rich boy, but he can't. Go look at his face in some of these videos you've seen. It would be on his right side of his face, outside of the nose area, more on the cheek, down below there. And he has this really, it's at least squamous cells. It looks like squamous. You got basil or basil, whatever, then squamous, and then melanonin or whatever you call it. And I've had basil and had squamish. I know. I had it closer to my nose and on the side of my nose. I've had it. Yeah, dead eyes, Clint. Dead eyes. Just dead eyes. Yeah, look at my eyes. There's nobody home. Barry's favorite statement. You got to love that one. Yeah, there is nobody home. Barry made a great statement. There is nobody home. Lights are out, And Clint Aston says he's got dead eyes. Yes, he does. Laughing Larry says Brevis was at Fazio's combing through the trash looking for the stash. Of course he was, man. Look, I got that 13 number again. I told you there are 13 avid viewers on here. It's always settles at 13. Always. It's the same people. Don C., Popeye, Barry, to name a few. A couple of my own regulars on here. Like Pennywise the Clown when he hypnotized the kids. Yeah. They all float, Johnny. Although it wasn't Johnny, though. I think I put those words in. When the kid went to the sewer, the water drainage, and there was it, the clown. Hello, Johnny. They all float, Johnny. And good that the kid ran away or something. He figured something out. Yeah, I'm telling you, we got some really creepy crawlers out there, man. You guys have been around for a while. You heard most of the shit. You've heard all kinds of different vloggers on YouTube, and I come up with one conclusion, man. There's very few that I think I could actually label as sane. Then who really defines what insanity is anyway, right? Oh, this Pennywise showed up. Oh my God. Is this the real Pennywise? Where have you been, man? If this is the real Pennywise. What's going on? You should go under a different name or something on here. Ladies and gentlemen, we got Pennywise on here. A very known big-time troll who's adorning my channel. They all float. They all float. Did Elliot Eastman float? Well, the Elliot Eastman thing, you might as well say he's dead. And it's a shame that happened. But he was so naive and gullible and stupid. He really was. All the signs were there. He was even talking about it, Shit, I would have been out of there quicker than shit, man. Being busy, well, that's good for you, man. You got some of us guys on here that have absolutely no life. No life. We're retired. We come on YouTube. God, what a statement that is. Yeah, the Roberto thing is not adding up. No, it's not, man. Clint says, his smile reminds me of the Joker, played by Jack Nicholson and his victims once they drank the poison. No, man, all seriousness. And I'm being serious, guys. No, there's something wrong with that guy. There really is. I've sat with him for quite a while in the yard. We talked. He came in the house with his girlfriend, too. And a couple times he was over, and nobody was home. A lot of times, man, like we were sitting outside, offering a refreshment or something, a piece of cake we had, He'd sit there, just kind of stare at you, mostly through his sunglasses. He wouldn't say much. He was there to absorb, to look, to listen, to learn, to find fault. Pennywise says that Clint Anthony, you Obama's friend from Marlboro. Have you been up wise on Pennywise or what's going on with Obama? Have you not been on here that long that you don't know what's going on? I'm just curious. Has it been that long? Clint Anthony, I thought you were Obama's friend. Clint Anthony, Pennywise said, Clint Anthony, I thought you were Obama's friend from Marlboro that owned the store. No, that's not him. Was it real velvet cake? It was colored with the blood of his last victim. No, he's been in there almost 22 months. That's Cliff you're talking about with the store. That's not, yeah. He fucked over Cliff. He fucked over everybody. And the fucker's got this other show that's not supposed to be him, but it's so obvious that you just want to laugh. Guilty as sin. And mostly he'll post on his community page because they got on his ass for using his phone, especially when he was out for New Year's Eve partying with the guards, man. He had his girlfriend over and she was dancing away a storm, drinking and singing karaoke. Just a girl that's supposed to have PTSD over me, who's highly depressed. And I fucked up her life and she had to put a complaint against me to get me deported. The same girl. You never know. It's a miracle. It's a miracle. She's all better now. No, Cliff, not Clint. She's all better now, though. Oh, they plotted and planned. Oh, my God. And he goes under guilty of sin other than Travel America, but he has both. But he'll use guilty of sin because he was, it was reported that he was out there partying with the guards. There's a bottle of liquor there. He's smoking a cigar. You could see him passing by and you hear him talking through the whole video. And, oh, yeah, that was turned into immigration. They gave him shit about that. Apparently, he still has use of his phone. Still have it. After all this, immigration did not take his phone away from all this. He continued to call me a pedo. Everything. He was doing shows for a long period of time while they got those charges on him. And he was still doing it, man. Still doing it. He's talking about taking a stupid pill. He swallowed the whole fucking bottle. And he was partying over there with the guards and everything, and probably got them in trouble. I wouldn't be surprised if he did. So now he's been restricted on his phone, but he still has it. He shouldn't even have it. He don't talk to his lawyer, and the lawyer never talks to him. The lawyer didn't want anything to do with him. Nothing. Let's see. I'm sure the human rights people will assist him. Yeah, remember the human rights people? Laughing Larry says the boy is guilty of sin. He'll never pay the visa. Yeah. Well, he's got a long road ahead of him, and whether he could cut the mustard on that, I don't know. He's already been falling apart, and even though he ain't doing live streaming at the moment, he's still commenting on live, like Big Kevin's, or posting on his own community page or whatever. He's still making lame comments on there about me, and he's trying to disguise himself as guilty of sin. And he says the most obvious things. Well, I don't think Barry deserved this. And I mean, it's so obviously Barry, the way he talks and everything about it. I mean, it's Barry. Everybody knows it. I mean, he makes even reference to himself on it. He forgets that he's supposed to be guilty of sin. But the title of his channel is perfect, Guilty of Sin, because he is guilty of sin. Fox News might throw him a bone. Oh, yeah, it's supposed to be worldwide news that the Philippines immigration is holding him against his will. Yeah, it's Sebastian, yeah. All names it comes out with Sebastian. Could he be a Sebastian? I think more of an Elmer. Elmer. But you know what he looks like these days? And the last time I've seen him in a courtroom? Homer Simpson. He looks like Homer Simpson. He's got that belly like Homer Simpson now. The baldish head, and Homer Simpson. Homer Simpson. Anyway, I really do got to get off here. I've been doing a lot of long shows lately, and I've been doing a lot of shows. Oh, I hate to call it shows again. I'll correct myself. Some uploads and some live streaming. Don't forget, I mean, I'm retired. I'm bored out of my mind. Right, Don? What else does a retired man have to do? And I did a show on that, too. What is retirement really like in the Philippines? Oh, there goes my prison siren. Do you hear it? Listen. Listen. I'm not kidding you. He used to look like Mr. Burns when he was skinnier. You think you're in a concentration camp? Brisket says, reminds me of that creature, the Lord of the Rings, Precious, my precious. Really? Clint Anthony says, and a bald guy, and the hills have eyes. Oh, yeah, man. Oh, yeah. I do remember that. Oh, that's a movie. Yeah, Laughing Larry says, Don C. never shows his wife. Yeah. Well, I mean, when does he see her? I mean, honest to goodness, man, I mean, he's right there. When I'm on, he's right there. Because he'll immediately comment on, now it's called the Frank Replay Show, and they've been kind of like out of material lately because I really haven't been doing like a lot of what you want to call drama on here. And they don't have much to say. And even if you read the comments, they're lame, of course, and some of the same people, but it's not like they were before, you know. They're fading out a little bit because I'm not really doing anything too crazy on here, and I've been talking all kinds of stories about that. A lot of them have nothing to do, you know, with the goober, and there might have been some health issues, might have been some things I'm talking about, but like tonight, I started off kind of a little bit of reminiscing. Like, yeah, I do a little reminiscing now and then, boys. A little reminiscing. Lost in Your Eyes, Debbie Gibson. No, by far not my favorite artist of the past. Probably looks like an old hag right now. But I don't think she's even doing any music. I don't know what she's doing in her life. I don't think she got too rich at the time. I'm not sure what she made. I like to look up people's net worth all the time, yeah. I'll probably look it up. What's Debbie Gibson's net worth, you know? But, you know, we're kind of reminiscing a little bit on the show. Songs that remind you of some old girlfriends, that's some really hot, flaming girlfriends you've had that you thought you'd be together forever, but that never happened. Yeah, Don C claims to work full time, but he's Jack on the spot when Jay goes live. Oh, he's right there, man. He is like right there. Or me, he's right there. He's one of the 13. I call it the group of 13 solid people that come to my channel all the time. I told you earlier in my broadcast. Oh, wait, I said on the nose show too. The magic number of 13. There are 13 diehard trolls that listen to my show. I guess she got hired by this guy, living a good life, I guess. Her mother had passed away, so she's all free of the burden. And she's riding around with this guy in his nice car. He's living in a nice place. And, you know, dream come true. This guy took her out of poverty. And I'm not sure how the hell he could listen to her. Oh, jeez. But nevertheless, you know, good for her. He's probably paying her a little salary or something. Got a nicer place to live because she lived in a dump. You know, she's up in the world now. She's up in the world. Up in the world. Count Don C. and Brevis in the 13. Oh, absolutely. And Barry. Don C., Brevis, and according to the time zone, Popeye, definitely. Oh, definitely. But, you know, I'm serious. I hope you've been enjoying my shows. And I know I've been doing quite a bit on here. Quite a bit. But they've been kind of entertaining to both myself and my viewers. A lot of people tell me they like to hear my stories about the past. And I've been kind of diving into that a little bit lately. And people seem to really enjoy that. The old girlfriends, what my life was like in the past and all that. Yeah, I know. Her laugh was something else, wasn't it? It really was. Oh, man. I couldn't listen to her, really. I mean, it was very hard. She didn't know what to talk about. Kind of like a bummer thing. He had no clue what to talk about except, oh, well, oh, well, oh, well. Then he'd get into one of his bitter moods when the realization of where he is and how long he's been hits him every now and then. He gets into a bad mood. And to anybody who actually there can believe that he's going to get married on February 8th, that is legally or humanly possible to do that. And from everything I read and talking to my attorney, one of them anyway, they don't see how that's going to happen. There's too many prerequisites. He'd have to leave the cell to sign certain types of paperwork outside of the cell and travel to these places to do it. So I'm not buying the story. Yeah, it's the gasping for air. Oh, I couldn't listen to that anymore. Oh, I just couldn't listen to it anymore. And imagine she's living with somebody and she laughs like that around them. Oh, no. Yeah. I don't know. Maybe she's got an asthma condition or something. I don't know. I wish her well. Anyway, guys, it's lovely. It's brilliant. Brilliant to talk to you. I was doing a thing about the British the other day and how they speak the real King's English. And us schmucks from Western culture that we think is English is far from English. It's all slang. We tear the English language apart. We really do. That's why I like to listen to the Brits because you could understand everything they say. Every word, they pronounce it properly. Schedule instead of schedule. That's an example I always use. There's many more, and I love the way they say it. Brilliant. It was brilliant. I love that word. That was absolutely brilliant. Yeah, I never got to see England. That would have been interesting, but it's dark and gloomy. I've lived in dark and gloomy places before, like Seattle, for the most part, was like that. Everybody suffered from deep depression. And when the sunlight came out, you would think that would knock them out of their depression, but believe it or not, it made them more depressed if the sunlight lasted too long. If you had like days and days of sunlight, people felt terribly uncomfortable. I call it a veil. The cloudy skies were a veil. They felt more comfortable with this veil of cloudiness and drizzle because that's what they were used to. And when the sun came out, sure, everybody and their grandmother were out there with baby carriages in the parks. Seattle came alive. But if you had too many days of sunlight, it did the opposite. It used to depress them, believe it or not. I know, I lived there 25, 26 years, man. That's a long time. That's a lifetime to some people. Okay, I do got to go. And I think I said what I needed to say. And it's been fun. It's been real. And I really love the dialogue on my shows lately. I think people are being more cooperative with the dialogue, which is when I get on and I have to do a monologue and nobody's talking, that's when I get bored and I said, fuck it, I'm getting off. But I spend enough time on here. We get it all out. I give you drips and drabs of information here and there. I can't give you everything on legal things, but, I try to satisfy the people that watch me. I could talk about a little bit of something about legal things, but I can't really just kind of dive into it. I know that things are not going his way right now. I can tell you that. So that's for sure. So he's pretty miserable and he's pretty bitter. Understandably why. But, when somebody puts themselves in that position, how could you feel sorry for him? You just can't. And I'm one of these individuals who's a victim. He acts like he's the victim. That's what most guilty people, that's what they say. That they're the victim. They didn't do anything wrong. It's always the other guy. Always the other guy. I get lost in your eyes. Debbie Gibson. Go listen to my short. Go ahead. I'll go check to make sure it's not on private. For the hell of it. I'll get a strike for it. Who cares? Probably. Young Debbie Gibson singing that song. Memories in the corner of my mind. Barbara Streisand there, huh? No, I'd never listen to Barbara Streisand. I got a kick out of Tom Jones. What's new, pussycat? Whoa, 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 whoa. What's new, pussycat? Whoa, 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 whoa. You know what that reminds me of? Not a girl. It reminds me of Wilson's Pool in Mount Vernon, New York. It's a public pool that everybody went to. And they'd have a loudspeaker. They'd be playing all the current music. And Tom Jones, remember that at that time, his music would come on there. And I always remember, What's New, Pussycat? The old days, folks, the old times, the so-called better days. Well, if you were youthful, yeah, it was a better day. But I'm sorry, you're not going to retain your youth if you go out with a chick that's 50 years younger than you. That's ludicrous. That's crazy. You're playing with something that you have no right to play with. You know, that's your granddaughter, great granddaughter you're dating. That's not healthy. I'm sorry, man, but it's just not healthy. Okay, remember, I'm here because you're there for now. I got to get off this thing or else I'll never get off. My shows have been kind of carrying on quite a bit of time. I've been shooting them out. I admit it. I admit it. You don't have to tell me, Dandy Don. I've been shooting out the shows, but I'll tell you what, you've been there listening, Don. And I get a lot of these trolls that make comments here and there. I'm this, I'm that. I have no subject matter. God, I got too much subject matter when you come to think about it. But yet they come. They all come. They all come to listen. They enjoy listening to my show. Or else they wouldn't come. Why would they come? They could easily tune out, but they don't. Oh, they gotta wait till I get me into some kind of a catchphrase. Something that's negative that they could use against me. I'm this big criminal who forged transcripts for a college for a BFA degree. That was Don's thing. And he turns around, admits I had a degree, but your grade point average was terrible. I don't want to get into that again. I explained on this particular school, but they didn't see my transcripts from New York Tech, though, did they? No, they didn't. A different grading system, higher numbers, more like B's. No A's, but B's. I'll take it all day long, B's. But the question is, Donnie boy, no matter what your fucking grade point average is, did you or did you not get something out of these courses? Did you not learn something? Did you not walk away from these schools with some knowledge that you'll carry with the rest of your life? What's that word on a GPA? Which doesn't mean diddly shit about how much information that you have absorbed and you've learned and you were able to apply it to whatever your craft was or endeavor. I did. I absolutely did. That's my show. Thanks for watching. I got to tend to my lovely, wonderful, gorgeous Filipina. Know what I'm saying? Talk to you later, guys.